just yo, I fuck with the flag in the background.
What?
That no, I only fuck with it because I collect flags personally. That's the only German flag I don't have.
You should get it.
I know I have obviously Prussia, got World War One Germany, present day Germany,
Nice.
Nazi flag.
Nice.
Only flag I don't have is East Germany.
You should get it. This is original, by the way.
That's original, dude. It looks good. It looks really good.
Yeah, we have second-hand sites in Bulgaria which sells sort of stuff.
That's cool. Where'd you say you're from?
Bulgaria, and my girlfriend gifted it to me.
That's cool, dude. That's really cool. See, I'm a big European history nerd, huge geography nerd when it comes to Europe, and I love German history. But at the same time, like I said, I know my European geography. I love collecting flags. So, especially knowing, because I know a lot of Americans, which you've probably gotten this a lot. I bet you a lot of Americans can't tell you what Bulgaria's flag looks like or where Bulgaria is at.
Wait. Do you want to see something?
Yeah, I'd love to see something, dude.
Wait.
Holy shit! It's the fucking flag of the the Socialist Republic of Bulgaria. That is fucking sick.
Yeah, it's the People's Republic of Bulgaria. Like the flag yeah, the flag is new, like it's a reproduction, but you saw the top with the hammer and cycle.
Yep, I could see it on the.
This one is original. I built it. I built the flag myself. Like
that is cool as shit.
Yeah, I collect things connected with socialism. Like if you can see, I also have the North Korean flag behind me.
Yep, the People's Democratic Republic of Korea.
Yeah. I have one more Bulgarian flag of the Bulgarian People's Republic, like next to the German flag, but you can't see it because of the camera angle. And this one is vertical. The one on there I showed you is horizontal. So yeah, I collect such things too. And if you can see, this is East German hat.
I had seen the hat, and I couldn't really tell by the I couldn't really see the thing that was on the hat itself or the cap. So I was wondering, like, I wonder what that is.
It's of East German paramilitary organization.
That's fucking cool.
Kampfgruppen der Arbeiterklasse.
Okay. Like I said, I do have one more German flag with me. It is the flag of World War One Germany. Have that right there, hanging up, and then at my grandparents, I have a whole bunch more hanging up. The one country, obviously, the flag is still around, but the country's not. One country that I've been learning about here and there is Czechoslovakia. And then when my friends like to talk with me about it, it's funny because my friends say Czechoslovakians as if Czech and Slovaks are two people, when really, I mean, that they're one people. They are different peoples, and well, you know that obviously. But I said I'm American, and I love European geography, European history, fucking everything about Europe. I love it. It's fucking amazing.
It's pretty rare to see American who actually knows geography.
Yeah, it's very interesting. It's very interesting. I hear it from a lot of Europeans that Americans, like when they start talking, they're like, "Yeah, Americans don't know this shit."
Yeah, absolutely. When I say Bulgarian, they ask Russia, and I'm like, do you even know where the Balkans is?
I would say, yeah, I know the Balkans.
Yeah.
Yep, the Balkan. Yeah, because Bulgaria borders Romania, Turkey, Greece, and well, formerly Yugoslavia, but now Serbia.
Yeah.
And if you want to talk, it depends on where you're at in the world. Kosovo for the people who.
We actually don't border Kosovo, but Macedonia.
Oh no! Yeah, I would say you don't. It's Macedonia. My apologies.
Yeah, but Macedonia is artificially created too. Like it belonged to Bulgaria before. Like like the people there had Bulgarian consciousness before they became a part of Yugoslavia, and then Tito pretty much suppressed Bulgarians, like the people who had Bulgarian identity.
Ah, okay. I've
Like some people were sent to camps just for saying they're Bulgarian. Like
I did not know that.
there was a huge Macedonization. Like even they wanted at first until 1948 when Tito and Stalin split. Until then, they wanted to make Bulgaria part of Federation of the South Slavs. Like it's like Yugoslavia, but larger. And they also wanted like the Pyrenean region. It's the Pyrenean Macedonia region. They wanted to separate it from Bulgaria and to join it into Macedonia. So there was a soft Macedonization there. But after 1948, when Tito and Stalin split, it was sold down, and in 1963 it got like abandoned.
Huh, I guess I learned something new today. That's fucking cool. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I was reading and was finding out, which I found pretty interesting. Tito had multiple assassination attempts on him from Stalin himself.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
could never get the job done.
Yeah, I know.
I found that really fucking cool. That is really cool, dude. You are cool as hell.
Thanks. But by the way, what do you think about socialism in general?
Socialism. Well, here I will tell you, because you know how most Americans are, and especially with today's day and age. Whenever you mention socialism here, everybody I know, or well, most people in general here in America will say socialism and basically call it beta communism or pre. Yeah, that's basically what you hear here. You don't really hear much of like socialism. It's mainly just communism. That's really what everybody here just relates it to, is just communism. So you really don't hear. So here you don't really hear much about socialism itself anymore. Personally, like if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah, but as far as I'm concerned, in the U.S., most of the so-called left wingers are just like liberals.
Yes.
I wouldn't consider them real socialists, because in a real socialist country they wouldn't survive a strict regime. They wouldn't survive in a strict regime for even 2 days. They will just
That's what I realized, especially with how soft-hearted people are nowadays and how everybody gets offended by everything. I said, "Oh, you think this is bad? Well, if you left-wing liberals really think about what you're asking for and what you want, how would you actually take a socialistic, militarized, if you want to be real, socialistic militarized regime? Then how would you take it? You wouldn't even be able to whine and cry and bitch about everything as much as you do now.
Bro.
You'd be suppressed, put in camps, or even put in jail, maybe executed. I mean, you're lucky with what you have now, so I wouldn't start bitching and complaining for what you really want.
Well, yeah, like they want a comfortable life, and their socialism comes more from they live with their parents until their 30s, and then they want to someone else to take care of them, and they want this to be the state. But they don't know that for this they have to have other responsibilities.
Exactly, especially a lot.
You know, in socialist countries we had, for example, conscription.
Yes.
And like there, they make a man out of you. And if these soy boys go on there, they'll pretty much cry in the first in the first hour. Like
I don't even think they get the chance to cry.
Yeah, absolutely.
They wouldn't even get the chance to cry.
They'll probably get beaten by the officers there.
Oh yeah, big time. I didn't actually realize until a couple months ago. I realized this marks the 30th year anniversary since the fall of the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics.
Sadly.
Yeah, I realized that, and I was like, holy shit! It's been 30 years on December the 26th of this year.
30 years of constant degeneration.
So yeah, I've been trying to learn a lot about the 90s, well, the whole 1900s as a whole, the Cold War. So when it comes to present day Europe itself, I really wonder how, which if you don't mind me asking, how have in this case Bulgaria, or if you can't answer, how have your neighbor the Warsaw Pact been since the fall of the Soviet Union to present day? Like, how is everything now?
Well, I'll say we were the third most richest, the third richest country in the Warsaw Pact, and now we are the poorest country in the EU. like we went down.
Ugh.
Like we had, for example, we were 25th in the world in terms of life standards. Now we are like 75 or something like that. Pretty much. We have a huge demographic crisis. Like 2 million people have ran off to the west, or not 2 million, even more than 2 million. We will see this year with the counting of the people. So yeah, we also have our military is totally shit. Like
Ugh.
for example, we had like 300 airplanes, like military airplanes.
Mhm.
Now we have like 10.
Wow.
Uh, we had like between 2,000 and 3,000 tanks. Now we have less than 500. And they are all Soviet tanks like T-55, like
Wow.
T-62.
So they're not even present day tanks.
Yeah,
They're old
yeah,
military.
absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely. And we still use like Type 3 AKs from the 50s. Like
Wow.
we haven't upgraded anything. Like we are in NATO, and you know what they did for us. We have NATO bases here, like foreign bases in our country. Back in the day, we didn't have any. Like the Russians gave us free military hardware for pretty much nothing. They didn't have any Russian, like any Soviet personnel here. And with NATO, it's quite the opposite. They have their own military here, but they haven't give us anything. Well, if you don't count military jeeps, but this is just small shit. Another thing is we do missions for them in Afghanistan.
Mhm.
Back in the day, we just participated in the Czechoslovak and Hungarian uprisings. But we didn't participate, for example, in the Afghan War or the Vietnam War or whatever. We weren't. They didn't want pretty much anything from us in terms of military assistance. They actually gave it to us. And with NATO, as I said, they gave us free military hardware. The Soviet Union, like for example, 300 military planes for free.
Wow.
And with NATO, last year we bought 16 F-16 planes, which haven't actually been built yet, and even the factories which are supposed to build them haven't been built yet. And this for market price, like I think it was $8 billion.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely.
The,
It's
the the way I've realized it a lot and thinking about it is Bulgaria is just like it's just been fucked. Like
absolutely,
like I because
absolutely,
you think about it, losers in the Central Powers from the first like honestly in the span of 100, like if we go from this exact moment of minding your conversation to the span of 100 years, think about it. Um, a former member of the Central Powers lost, so obviously fucked by treaties by the Entente. A
absolutely.
loser in the Second World War, so obviously fucked by the Allies, and in this case turned into a Soviet puppet state. So then you have that former part of the Warsaw Pact and former part of the Soviet, I guess you say the Soviet Union when you think about it, now fucked by
But
NATO.
but actually, the Soviet Union did a lot for us. Like
Yeah,
in terms of economic assistance, they were pretty much like a charity organization. Like our yeah, you know who Todor Zhivkov is?
yes.
Oh, absolutely based. He had a very good foreign policy. He appealed a lot to Brezhnev and to Khrushchev, and especially to Brezhnev. And as a result of that, they gave us, for example, as I said, the free military hardware, free materials, markets for our production. They pretty much bought everything we produce, no matter the quality. They also another thing is they had subsidies, a lot of subsidies, which we didn't return. And the subsidies were actually only for us, not the other socialist countries. Like they had Zhivkov and Brezhnev had hidden agreements, for which only they knew. Like we were pretty good with the USSR, and they even allowed us to get like technology from the West and to reverse engineer it here and to produce our own copies of it. So we basically became the producer of 70% of the technology in the Eastern Bloc.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay. No, that's pretty interesting. Okay. I do
yeah.
have a question for you now, though. With everything compared to present day, what are your thoughts on which it won't offend me at all. I'm not like the fucking soft like most Americans are. What are your thoughts on the present day United States, our government, everything now?
Well, I would say it has turned into oligarchical system, which doesn't really care for its citizens. Like for example, we have a lot of homeless people, and nobody gives a shit about them. Like I
No.
have watched news reports, and they just complain how they are blocking the 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 like the fuck I forgot the word like the thing you walk on near the street yeah
Sidewalk.
the sidewalk that they block the sidewalk with their tents and that they steal electricity, but what can they do? Like for example, during the COVID crisis, you know that America has only 65% home ownership, and
Mm-hmm.
the other people have to pay their rent. And pretty much a lot of people lost their jobs during the COVID crisis.
I was one of them.
Oh shit! I feel
Just
sorry.
lost. Oh,
And
you're good. Just lost mine a couple weeks ago, actually.
oh fuck! I hope you find a new one.
Thank you. We
And
appreciate it.
and I hope you don't get doomed.
Oh,
They get
thankfully, I'm still young, so I still have plenty enough time.
yeah.
I just graduated high school last year. I'm still
Nice.
19, so I
Ah,
still got a long ways. Still got a lot of stuff going on.
I'm 19 too, by the way. I'm my
Ah,
last my last year of school. Yeah, and as I said,
good luck to you.
thanks. They gave you only like two times $600, which isn't enough for even paying the rent, is if I'm not wrong. And this
You were not.
and like the US is the richest country in the world and can do a lot more to solve the problems. If I compare, for example, with China. Like China has a billion more people, and they actually this year they reduced the poverty level to zero. With and they have GDP per capita less than us. Imagine, and they reduce the poverty level to zero with that much people. And the US with far less people and it's a far richer country can solve its problems. So yeah, the system is basically fucked up at any level.
Makes sense. Okay. Wow.
And
Okay.
and another thing is like the liberal democracy, like they give you two choices between liberals, at least in your country. In my country, it's just like 30 parties which are almost the same. But yeah, in your country, it's like liberals and conservatives. And if you think about it, the basis of neoliberalism and new conservatism are the same individualistic and the same economic stances, but conservatives are just a few years back. Like they are a little bit more conservative. That's the main difference. But you know, in 20 years they will be the same. So
Yeah.
I don't think you even have options. You have options. You had options between Trump, who is totally retarded, and Biden, who can't even say two sentences. Like
Yeah.
what the fuck? like
I
like he doesn't even know where he is. Like what the fuck? They couldn't put some more inadequate people on the political stage, and if you I think if I go to America and if I run for a president, even I can win. Like they're so inadequate,
Yeah.
I don't even know what current day American politics is. But
I mean,
yeah,
we might need a Bulgaria to help turn us around. Honestly,
you know
we might need a Bulgarian.
our politics is basically almost the same. Uh,
Yeah.
like we have the second most the second biggest political party, it emerged basically this year, like not this year but last year. It's basically led by a guy who has a TV show, basically by a fucking TV clown who can't even walk on the street. He has like he idealizes the West. When some woman was he was more leftist leaning, he went on his show, and she said that we should lower the differences. Like we need more equality. We need to lower the differences in income of Bulgarians, because the richest people are basically controlling the politics and the economy, the oligarchs. And she said that one starting measure can be to have progressive taxes, because our taxes are basically equal percentage, equal percentage to all of the, if they get 10% of me, they get also 10% of some oligarch, and it's basically nonsense. And she said that we should tax the rich more, and he said that this is like too leftist, too communistic, too socialistic. Like, what the fuck, man? Even Russia has it. Like, Russia is one of the most oligarchic countries, and even they have it. Like, imagine being so dumb. And most people who support him are like people are like poor people. So what the fuck?
Yeah. Dude, I could talk to you about this shit all day, dude. I literally could all day, because it's not often you find somebody who actually is, into history, knows politics, like, especially around this at the same age too. But it's harder being an American, because here nobody understands it, like as well as I do. Especially being able to talk to a Bulgarian and figure out how European politics is. You don't get to speak to Bulgarians every day being an American, especially being a former member of the Warsaw Pact, because I mean that's interesting to me personally. It's like, this is honestly pretty cool. Which, now that I actually bring that up, going back to earlier, I do know a lot of the Warsaw Pact, former Warsaw Pact countries now have a lot of anti-Soviet like rules that people have to follow, because they don't want any remnants of the past.
Yeah, I think that this is somewhat retarded, because I don't think that the West cares for us in any way. I think that Slavic countries have a lot more in common than differences, and I think that the best thing might be for us to work together again. But some countries like Poland, for example, or Ukraine are very anti-Russian and anti-Soviet.
Wow, I did not know anti-Russian.
Yeah, and for example, with the separatism in Ukraine, tensions are building up again.
The Crimean Peninsula, for example.
Yeah, but not just that. Like in Donetsk and Donbass, in recent weeks, they have Russia has sent military hardware, Belarus has sent military hardware, China has acknowledged Crimea as Russian, and basically the US supports, as you know, Ukraine, and basically they want basically the conflict in Donbass is escalating again.
Wow.
So we will see what will happen. But as you said, I wouldn't consider myself that much smart. I wouldn't consider myself that much knowing all the shit. But more like for socialist countries, I would say I know a big amount of things for socialist countries, especially for mine.
It's very interesting,
because I'm interested in this part of history. After all,
which is really cool. I mean, honestly, if you try to have this conversation with anybody on the street, I mean, even just seeing the two flags behind you, I guarantee you, any other American would either think you're racist, weird. I mean, it's like I said, to me personally, it's actually, I love having a conversation like this, especially with somebody like you. Like, this to me is really, really fucking cool.
Thanks.
Oh yeah, no problem. I was looking also, and I found it really, really interesting with how sensitized North Korea is. I found it real interesting that a lot of North Koreans still believe that Russia is the Soviet Union still. Germany is still East and West for them.
Well,
The
probably.
Warsaw Pact is still a thing. They are still thinking that the Cold War is still going on. The Warsaw Pact is still a thing. It's like wow. I didn't realize how.
Well, I don't actually believe that this is to such extent because Kim Jong Un has met Vladimir Putin. So,
Mhm.
so will they point at the Russian flag and say this is the new Soviet flag or some sorts? And this is the president of the Soviet Union. No, they'll say this is the president of Russia. And our great Marshal Kim Jong Un is meeting the president of Russia Vladimir Putin and so on. Yeah, I know there is a lot of censorship there, and the things they know about the West, for example, are just the bad things, and they think that they are living good life, even though North Korea nowadays is shit, even though you can see it from many perspectives because they are isolated from all the world. They have a lot of sanctions and so on. They have awful climate conditions. They don't have they almost don't have fuel. By the way, their trucks are running on wood.
Wow, it's funny how you say that because I actually found out with how behind they are in technology compared to us Americans, they are sitting on billions upon billions of dollars of minerals and resources, but don't have the technology to get that material.
Yeah, but yeah, yeah, I know. And another thing is that for example, with their awful climate conditions, they can't produce enough food, so there is malnutrition problems. There are huge droughts that drown entire villages, entire cities in some cases, and they kill a lot of their agricultural production. And they also don't have like I forgot the word, but they don't have fertilizers and so on, which is required for good agricultural productions. So yeah. Uh,
As a Bulgarian, if you don't mind me asking this, how would you feel being yourself if the Soviet Union was still alive, still around today in the present day, the Warsaw Pact was still a thing? How would you feel as a Bulgarian being a member of the Warsaw Pact and a Soviet satellite state?
I don't like the aspect that we were a satellite state because we couldn't lead. We could lead independent policy because we actually did it. Because we did a lot of things behind the backs of the Russians. Like we sold, for example, oil. We resold it to. We used to reselling to resell oil to the West, for example, and they didn't care, the Soviets. But yeah, they did a lot for us, and I think that this cooperation had future. And I think that the thing that wasn't done, or at least wasn't done correctly, is going from centrally planned economy to mixed economy. I think that, for example, the Chinese system, what Deng Xiaoping did. I think this was what had to be done in here too, because we had huge stagnation problems in the 70s, for example, and it went on in the 80s. So yeah, we had a lot of problems with holding onto Stalinist style economy for way too long. Like it had a lot of good things in the start, like GDP skyrocketed, industrialization, very fast industrialization. But later on, you can't centrally plan everything. And another thing is the factories which weren't doing that good, nothing was done to them. They didn't want better quality, more production and so on, to counter the losses. So I think that is why it dissolved. But if we had done these changes, we might have still be around, and we would have been a lot better than the West probably. Because you see China, how China is doing now. They're pretty much
Oh yeah.
they're pretty much doing great. Like for example, in the COVID crisis, only China had increasing of GDP 2%, but all of the other countries had decreasing GDP. So you see, mixed economy is basically the best thing ever because you
Yeah.
get the benefits from planning, and you get the benefits from markets, but also when markets are controlled by the party and the government, you don't have capitalists doing whatever they want, and they are only used as a tool to develop the economy, nothing more. So yeah, I think that if the Soviet Union was still on, and we still were, so to say, a satellite state, which we are too now, but a lot worse. The worst thing is that we don't even admit it, that we are a satellite state to the EU and NATO and America. We might be a lot better. And I think that in the current age, in most cases, small countries like mine are under some influence. For example, with my country, it was under Soviet influence, now under Western influence. Before that, it was under German influence. So yeah.
Yeah, it must be very. I don't really know how to. Maybe difficult to live as Bulgarian.
Well, I would say it's not we don't have bombs falling on our heads, so it's not like it's not like Syria. So I don't know why. I know that everyone these days is egotistical and individualistic, and that's why they run off to the west. But I think that Bulgaria is not that bad in terms of lifestyle when you compare it to third world countries. But when you compare it to first world countries, yeah, we have we have, I would say, 50-50 living conditions. But yeah, we aren't that good. Like, we are one of the poorest countries in Europe. So yeah, imagine. The income is very low. The pensions, like, for old people are the worst. They can hardly buy medicine, and yeah, back in the day it was much more affordable because prices were dropped down by the state.
Wow, Jesus Christ! I definitely want to learn more about Bulgaria a lot now more.
By the way, are you streaming or something?
I am not streaming at all. I have all this stuff because I drive race cars and stuff like that. That's why. So
nice.
But I'm wondering because out of me and all my friends, we always talk about, like I said, the Soviet Union. Out of all the leaders, because we all know the leaders, the one we talk about the most is Gorbachev. Obviously, we talk about Gorby a lot.
Gorby is a total retard, you know. Like Todor Zhivkov in his memoirs, in his autobiography, he said that Gorbachev wasn't actually wanting to implement real changes, but just like cosmetic changes and more political changes and he didn't have that good economic plans, so he ultimately failed. And we here tried to do something a lot different. Like, we tried to make into a more mixed economy. Like, we wanted to have more autonomous worker-controlled factories, which would compete with one another, small private businesses and so on. But yeah, still state control. And I think that if we implemented the things that Zhivkov wanted, we might be good. But yeah, Gorbachev, at one point, Gorbachev went to Zhivkov and said that we were making too drastic changes and we were reverting from socialism and Leninism. Like, what the fuck?
What the fuck?
He even like I mentioned with the computers, he said that he doesn't want Bulgaria to become a small Japan or West Germany, and we had to abandon the computer building. Like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck? He was too hypocritical. Like, in front of us, he was like, socialism, Leninism, everything is like the best. We have the best system and so on. We must hold to Leninism. But over the West, he was like pro-democracy and so on. Like, he was a total liar. And
which that's my question towards you. If the Soviet Union was still alive and everything, right? Do you think Gorbachev would still, because obviously most right? Yeah, majority of the Soviet leaders, minus Khrushchev, were in power until death. Gorbachev, how he was 54 at the time of coming into Soviet premier, um, he's still alive, which surprises me. But being that,
He shouldn't
do
be.
you do you think Gorbachev would still be the premier of the Soviet Union if the Soviet Union was still alive today? No.
No, like if the Soviet Union would be alive, Gorbachev wouldn't. Either he wouldn't get into power, or either he would have been removed. Like they tried it at one point, but it failed. The way I see it, the most good thing that could have happened would be Andropov not dying and holding on to power. So yeah, that's what I think.
Okay.
If because Andropov wanted to combat corruption, to make some changes in the economy and so on, and I think that he could be a viable option. But yeah, there were some other alternatives. Like if we count if we don't count Andropov and Chernenko, there were some other alternatives. But yeah, Gorbachev wouldn't be. As I said, Gorbachev either wouldn't come to power, or he would have gone. He would have been removed.
You think removed by like well, what do you think removed? I think
A,
personally
a
probably
coup,
assassination.
a coup, like
Coup.
probably a military coup or a party coup or something like that.
I was thinking a political assassination personally. That's what I was thinking of.
Probably this could happen too.
I could have definitely seen that. It surprised me knowing that Gorbachev is actually still alive. Personally, knowing that he is.
You know,
He's
he lives in fucking Germany. He doesn't. His people don't even want him there. Like,
Really, I did not know he lived in Germany presently. I did
yeah,
not know that.
he ran off. Like pretty much nobody in Russia likes him. Like pretty much everybody hates him. Like he and Yeltsin are the most embarrassing leaders of Russia ever.
Oh, Yeltsin, fucking Yeltsin.
Yeah,
Jesus.
yeah, Yeltsin.
Fuck Yeltsin.
You know, at one point when he went to the White House, he got so drunk that he went half naked on the street to buy pizza and collapsed. And pretty much a taxi driver, a taxi driver, and turned him to the White House. Like this guy is pretty hilarious. Like I have watched videos on him like on official meetings. Like he just stands up and he almost falls. Like he's so drunk that it's unimaginable.
What the fuck? Out of out of all the Soviet leaders, who would you say is your favorite?
Stalin and Brezhnev. Stalin,
Brezhnev?
if I don't view it like from my perspective, Stalin. But if I view from my perspective, Brezhnev, because Stalin was overall the best leader of the USSR. But Brezhnev was the best for Bulgaria, because, as I said, he did a lot for us, but not the best for USSR, because he wasn't. He was decent, but not that great, I would say. Like during his time, there was a very good life standard, but there was a huge stagnation. So yeah.
Okay, okay. If you don't mind me asking this, what would you say? Like, where do you stand on the political scale?
I am National Bolshevik.
National Bolshevik. Okay.
Nazbol. If you want that,
Nazbol.
if you know that, what that means. Like this is pretty much nationalists who want to use socialism for the benefit of the nation.
Okay, so if Bulgaria decided to go socialist again, you would not be against it.
Absolutely, but you know that at this time this is not very possible, because
Oh yeah, that's not very possible.
because they are pretty much fuck us over. I think that in the future probably when there is like it has already started, but when it goes further down, the Cold War between China and the US, and China has more interest in building up a bloc, a geopolitical bloc. We might have better conditions for building socialism or authoritarian regime in any sense.
I can tell you what, Americans would not. I don't really know how to describe it, honestly. Just with I guess I'll go off of everything that I know now and just knowing how most Americans are, which you've probably seen this in, like you mentioned earlier, a lot of people being soft-hearted, people get offended and hurt by literally everything. They say what they want, like for Biden being in office, for example. Majority of the people that I know that wanted Biden in office really wanted Bernie in office,
Yeah, I know.
but they don't really give an exact reason on why.
Like, like you mean they don't know why they're for who they are voting, why they are voting for him.
Yeah, they
Like their view is at least not Trump, but I would say Trump is better than Biden because he at least
yes.
can make two sentences and he's not that much of a degenerate after all. And but you know these guys are degenerates, so everything that is degeneracy is good for them.
Yeah, it makes sense. Makes sense. It's very
You know
interesting knowing all this.
they're just useful idiots for the capitalists who want
Yeah.
who want to build like more culturally more homogenic society overall, like in the whole world. So that cultural differences that separate us wouldn't exist, and this will create a more consumerist society. Even though our own is currently very consumerist, but it will become even more, and they will be able to appeal to even more consumers. And another thing is that they create every subculture is like a market for them, so they support it. Like they they they're just appealing the capitalist agenda, nothing more.
Personally, I stand like right in the middle. Don't have a side just yet. Because I mean, I do study all the sides. I do like to enjoy learning
Good,
about each of them
that's good.
and seeing everything. Talking to you though makes me want to aim more towards, Leninism, Stalinism, just a little bit. I'm just like,
I'm
the more I
I'm
want to learn about it.
I'm more of a Dengist, like Deng shopping. I'm more of a fan of Deng and his like economic policy and so on. Well, probably the politician who stands the most with my own views is Xi Jinping, the current president of China.
Okay,
Because he's basically Deng, but a little bit more nationalistic. Like, yeah.
I get what you mean. Okay, I I really don't know what else to say.
Well,
I've really enjoyed this conversation. Honestly,
uh,
I really have.
by the way, do you have a Discord?
I do have Discord. I'm on Discord all the time. Which
Nice.
actually, do you have a computer? Like you play games and stuff on your computer?
Absolutely, yeah.
Do you play or do you know what Hearts of Iron 4 is?
Yeah, but but I'm too lazy to learn how to play it.
Oh, I was gonna say, dude, I fucking love Hoi 4. I play Hearts of Iron all the damn time. I have never played a game as Bulgaria, but I'm definitely going to do that now.
There is a game called Ostalgi Berlin Wall or something like that. It's basically you control a state in the Warsaw Pact at the end of the Cold War, and you basically make economic policies and so on, and you have to see like to appeal to Gorbachev or not, or to you can build your own block and so on. You might check it out. Like just give me your Discord because I have to go now.
Yeah, I can definitely give you that. While I give you this, I actually have a Discord server that I've had for about,
I
I
I
want to say
I
a
have two
year.
by the way, but one thing I will say is thanks.
Yep, no
Uh,
problem. I have a Discord server called the United Nations, and everybody's a nation as of their choosing.
One thing I will say, I am a YouTuber and I put like Omega videos if you want. I'm recording by the way. Uh,
Oh, okay, okay, cool, cool.
if you want, I can put you on there. Like
I would not be against that. That sounds cool as can be.
I can put my link to my channel if you want, and I
Yeah,
will add
sure.
I will add to. By the way, I have a Discord server too. Uh, Wait.
All right, I got the link. Cool.
You can check out the videos. A lot of them are ironic because you can see me doing the Nazi salute, like the Roman salute, because
Mhm.
I talk on to a lot of Nazis here, and I want to appeal them for the first seconds because when they see all the communist stuff here, and they're like and they run off.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not. It's not. I've never ever talked to somebody that has the views that you do. It's a lot of far right nationalistic Nazis basically. So being able to hear from this point of view, it's pretty really interesting from my point of view. If I'm being honest with you.
well, you know, a lot of people think that my ideology is basically some kind of a meme, even though it's not, because it's like I would say it's well. I'll explain later because I have to go. Sorry.
Yeah.
Uh, I will add you on my. I have a fan server for my YouTube channel, so yeah, I will
Yes,
add you on
sir.
there.
All right. Hell yeah. Hey, it was a pleasure meeting you. I hope you have a great rest of your day and evening. And you
Thanks.
know what? I definitely hope we talk again because you are honestly freaking amazing, dude.
Thanks. You too.
Heck yeah. Have a good one.
Bye.